What to do if you're feeling lazy as an entrepreneur. Hi, I'm Mike Claudio, owner of WinRate Consulting, and I'm here as your coach. Feeling lazy as an entrepreneur is very common. I think the more you accomplish, the more you do, the more that you see, the more potential that's out there, the more knowledge you get, the lazier you feel. And that's kind of, I don't want to say the unwritten, but it's not really talked about that much by people. So what to do when you're starting to feel lazy? I think that happens primarily when you lose focus on the destination. So I've talked about, building base camps in the journey. You don't go from the bottom of Mount Everest directly to the top. You go to individual base camps up the mountain so that you can acclimate to the different levels, different altitudes, different weather conditions, whatever it is, different base camps, right? And I think once you lose focus on what's next, you lose focus on what you need to do today, and then you can never really do enough, right? Like there are days I feel lazy, and I know I do more than most people, but those are the days where maybe I didn't focus enough on intentional activity as much as just busy work. Because there's a lot to be said about rest and proper amount of sleep and exercise and resting your brain and reading, right? Self-education. I'm trying to, I'll just tell this story. So I made a commitment in January of this year that I'm going to transition more into the CEO role of my company instead of the head coaching role. I was coaching at the beginning in Q1, Ryan, I had 47 clients I was coaching. That's a lot. That's a lot. I don't care who you are, that's a lot. Because it was all one-on-one, right? And so I didn't have the time to spend with the team. And so I want to focus on doing more activities that might seem easier in effort, right? I'm going to talk, if you go back to one of the previous videos I just released, the difference between burnout and exhaustion. I was burnt out, but I wasn't as exhausted. I just didn't have the time. I was exhausted and I wasn't burnt out. I just didn't have the time to dedicate to the right activities, right? So becoming the CEO is part of the progressionary journey for me. So reading certain things, spending time doing certain things, saying no to things, traveling less, getting more intense with what clients I'm going to take on. That might feel lazy if it's not intentional, right? The activity is intentional. Ryan and I were just talking, you might have heard him in the background, talking about how he's starting to minimize his target audience or his target client base because of the potential opportunity he has with more local clients, opportunities, the law firm, that kind of stuff. So that might feel lazy because he's not working as hard, but the impact of the effort becomes exponentially greater. And I think that's where a lot of CEOs struggle. They're used to being exhausted to get an outcome. And then when you're not as exhausted, you feel lazy, even though the decisions you make are incredibly more impactful. I think one of the biggest examples of that I've heard, and the name will make sense to most people, Jeff Bezos doesn't work 100 hours a week. He might make one or two key decisions a quarter that completely changes the landscape for Amazon, right? Whether they're starting their space, whether they're doing their hosting services, their shipping services, whatever. So as you get higher up the chain of command and as your business becomes bigger, one, you start delegating more of the decisions and activities, so you physically have less work to do. But that's where being very clear on where you want to go becomes very important, because then those fewer but more impactful, more intentional decisions help make the machine, the business, the base camp, the vision, the mission come to life. And you might feel lazy, but you're actually doing more impact. And that's where I think the mindset shift has to happen. Look, you might just be a lazy person, and you might not be making good decisions, and you might be not doing the right things and spending too much time out of your business. And there's a difference between in your business, on your business, and out of your business. Okay, so in your business is the day-to-day stuff. You're in the grind, you're doing the calls, you're doing the work, you're doing the whatever. On your business is making decisions, doing activities that pivot, moved, captain the ship. Out of your business is you're on the golf course 5 days a week. There's 3 levels to this. There's in the business, on the business, out of the business. And there needs to be, in my opinion, a certain percentage of time spent in each of those buckets. Understanding what the balance of that is very important. When you first start it, you're in your business 100%. Maybe 99%, 1% is on the business. Then you start hiring some people and maybe you're 70% in, 30% on, still 0 out. And then you start hiring more people. Then maybe you're 30% in your business, maybe you're 60% on your business, maybe you're 10% out of your business. Now, I've never explained it this way before, Ryan. This makes a lot of sense though. Off the cuff, this is how we do this. So understanding what percentage of your time should be spent in each bucket. Like for me, I'm spending maybe 30% of my time out of the business right now because I want to spend more time helping my family in the transition of moving. We moved to a new city. We took our kids. We're going to homeschool now. My wife left her job and is basically just being, she works for WinRate and ACS, but she's being, really helping with the kids right now. So my family needs more of my time. That might be 30% out of my business, but I don't feel lazy because there's intent with that activity. I actually more recently, Ryan, I'm not sure if you even know this, I deleted social media from my phone because social media for me went from a tool to a distraction because I was good at engaging on social media. My team, I have a team for that now. Ryan manages a lot of my stuff. I have, the people internally, Lindsay and Terry, that manage some of that stuff. I have a podcast production company now that manages some of that stuff. I was the one doing all of that for a period of time, right? In the business. I was heavily in the business. I was exhausted most days. But now that I hired some things, I delegated and outsourced. Now I have more time to be on the business. I need less time in the business, which gives me more time out of the business. So I can spend more time, but I'm still not going golfing. I haven't golfed in 18 months, Ryan. At all, right? So we used to golf every week. Now I haven't golfed in 18 months. So it's what is that time out of the business doing? This is really where I think laziness kicks in. When you are spending time out of your business unintentionally, there's no purpose behind that activity, that's where you start to feel lazy. If you're on your business, kind of going through the motions with no clear vision, and there needs to be patience, but there's still effort in a certain direction, you won't feel lazy. If you're in your business doing the wrong you might even still feel lazy because you're not doing everything with intention. One of the biggest things that differentiates Mike Claudio, in my opinion, myself, is almost every minute of my day is built with intention. It took a long time to learn that. Another way to say that is my time management's very strong. And so when you have bad time management and you're just all over the place or reactive, you're not really checking the box on a lot of stuff every day, you'll feel lazy. But really where I think most of it happens is when you transition from in to on to out. All three of those buckets needs time from you. It's understanding how much percentage of your time should be in each bucket. Because you didn't build your business to be a really busy employee. You didn't build your business to require you 100 hours a week. You built it for freedom. I don't know a single person that started a company saying, man, I built this company so that I can work a lot more. No one says that. They say, I want freedom. But then you're afraid to take it. So understanding I'm like, Mike, what should my percentages be? Stop being so needy. Figure it out for yourself. It's different for everybody. I can't tell you how to live your life. Figure it out. But when you start to transition from on your business to out of your business, because there's other things in your life that need your attention, like your family, maybe your friends, maybe your hobbies, because you need a break. Because becoming the CEO means you're making less decisions, but you have to be incredibly more mentally sharp, prepared, have energy, be nourished, hydrated, right? Are you drinking enough water? Something simple like that. It allows you to be and produce at a higher rate because you can't up those decisions when you're only making 3 a month. When you're only making 3 important decisions a month, you can't mess those up. When you're making 100 decisions a day, you can get a couple wrong because you're in the business. It's not that impactful. But understanding how you are resting, rejuvenating, making sure you have the right amount of energy, making sure your time is being spent on the right activities, that might make you feel lazy in the process. But understanding what percentage needs to be in, on, and out of your business comes down to what does success look like for you? You can define what winning looks like for you, right? I manufactured this business from the ground up to be exactly what I wanted it to be. I literally work from home. I coach who I want to coach. I coach when I want to coach. I go to the gym when I want. And when I want is relative. I'm setting a schedule so it can all get done. I'm not just it's 11 o'clock, I want to go to the gym now. No, it doesn't work that way. I'm being intentional with my time, but understanding in, on, and out. And in every bucket, there needs to be intentionality around that time spent. If you're slaying on the couch with your kids playing a game, that might feel lazy, but you're intentionally spending time as a father. And that's more important than anything else, in my opinion. But that's because you have to define your win. There's always going to be somebody out there saying, if you're not bleeding from your eyes, you're not working hard enough. That's just the truth. There's always people out there, and that message is for somebody. But if that's not who you want to be and what you want to be known for, if that's not what success looks like in your life, because there's a whole lot of really successful people who are 3 times divorced, their kids don't talk to them, they don't really have any friends, they're just out there to get money. And that's success to some people, and that's fine. That's not success to me. And that might not be success to you. So laziness is relative to what do you want to have in your life? What do you want your time to be like? How much money do you want to make? How well do you want to be viewed as a husband, father, wife, mother, friend, business owner, mentor, whatever that might be for you? What does it look like? What does winning look like to you in each of those buckets? In, on, and out. And make sure that each of that time, every percentage you have in each bucket is built intentionally. Because laziness will creep up on you, and then you'll feel it, and you can recover from it. But ultimately, if you know why you're doing everything you're doing, laziness tends to not creep in the same way. That way you can continue to win fast and win often.